The art of storytelling has a long and varied history, from the oral tradition of the Greek poets like Homer, to the literary epics penned by Shakespeare, to the modern movies that use visual cues in place of text to entertain and influence us. Whatever the form, storytelling has largely been a one-sided affair, with the audience acting as a passive observer only. While there are some early examples of audience participation, the audience callbacks in pantomime plays being a superlative example, and many oral traditions are often changed by or for the audience to meet specific needs, the first truly interactive fiction came in the form of the role-playing game in the early 1970s. Based on the refereed war games from the early 1960s, where entire military campaigns slowly unfolded into a pseudo-history with a strategic level of detail, the first RPGs made the story more personal, with the player taking the role of a single hero and the referee turning into a world builder to create the backdrop for the hero's adventures. In an RPG, the player is not simply an audience for the referee, but an active participant in building the ongoing story through their player character known as a PC. In a sense, they're like actors on a stage, in a play where only the general outline has been written, and it is their interaction with the other actors and the setting of the story that completes the play. It is improv theater mixed with gaming elements to make a truly unique story in which neither the player nor the playwright can ever truly predict the outcome of the narrative. And RPG stories do not end with a single tale. The same characters will participate in story after story as long as they survive, growing and advancing as they go for campaigns that can last years or even decades with the right people, and create an epic tale as detailed as the Iliad or the Odyssey. It all starts with a basic story known as the adventure, a single episode in the grand tale that is the campaign. The referee as storyteller creates the outline of the adventure, plotting out the backstory, the objective the characters will need to accomplish, and all the non-player characters, from minor players to major antagonists, that they might meet as they seek to attain those goals. The script is incomplete, and the storyteller is left in anticipation of an exciting conclusion to a tale with an unknown resolution. Once the adventure is completed and the players are assembled, the process of unfolding the story begins in earnest. It starts with the storyteller presenting the initial situation to the players and describing the environment as their characters perceive it, so that the players will be able to make informed decisions about how the characters will react. The players then anticipate, based upon this narrative exposition, as well as the mechanical strengths and weaknesses of their characters, what actions will lead to the greatest possible success. The storyteller anticipates the probable results of those decisions based upon the larger storyline, the personalities of the NPCs, and occasionally, on the random roll of the dice. He then presents the players with a new narrative description to describe how the actions have changed the surrounding world and/or revealed new information. This cycle continues, control of the story being passed back and forth between storyteller and players, until the objectives of the story are reached, or they become impossible to reach due to player action. In the end, the successful story is not dependent on whether or not the individual character succeeds or fails. It is instead based on whether the storyteller and players succeed in co-creating a story that has provided them with hours of enjoyment through the tense anticipation of a story unfolding to an unknown outcome.